Oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty, I want to drink. Oh, I'm thirsty, I want to drink, I want to drink. Give me a drink. Have a cup of tea. What? Have a cup of tea. What a cup of tea for? That's the best thing you can have if you're thirsty. You're not even Irish, man. What's not even... Have a good cup of tea. That's the best thing you can have if you're thirsty. A good cup of tea that cools you down. Bollocks. You can just see him at Wimbledon. Game, set and match. Can you get the kettle on for these lads here? They gas me.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Do you know these tits, Errol?
I know a lot of tits, Governor, but I don't know any quite as stupid as these two.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, their thems and comrades alike. You are watching the Brews at 10 on my left eye. I'm your humble host, Lefty. A warm welcome to everybody, very warm. In fact, this evening, hope you're all good. Let's brew this thing. And what a week it's been already. In politics. Yes, of course, it's been hard to avoid the fact that Nigel Farage has sensationally quit in order to stand again because he thinks this will stop people talking about the £5 million donation that he took. But he is in fact just denying the inevitable, as the investigation cannot go on whilst there's a by-election. So that's hot. So we now have two hot seats active. More about that after, of course, the main feature of this evening's stream. Deputy PMQs. Lammy's stepping in again for Keith, whilst Keith's over at the NATO summit. Most likely just being ignored by a bunch of people, even more so because it's the first kind of international thing he's been to since he resigned. Morbius, nice to see you in chat, and also renewing the membership as well. Awesome stuff, that's what we like to see. So that takes up to 139. We did actually start the stream with one more member than we had on the last one as well. So thank you very much everybody for renewing. And belated thanks to Celia Harris for joining / renewing with a membership as well. In fact, you'll see Celia's name on the list as well as everybody else who helps to support the channel with a membership. Thank you very much everybody. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on this stream. That's a very easy way to help support the channel. Please check out our latest content as well. That concerns something very foreboding concerning the climate crisis event this week, which will trigger other events leading to a runaway effect in Antarctica. It's all quite terrifying. Yes, the Doomsday Glacier has in fact begun to separate from the rest of Antarctica. Check that one out, if you would please, people. Thank you very much for all your support. Just a very quick reminder, Super Chat is open on the stream, as well as Super Stickers. There's Super Thanks if you're watching back later on, and the Buy Me a Coffee page is always there as well, in the description of any content on the channel, so check out the link. Clockender's not quite 1 million subs. There's a lot of competition out there. We do like to support each other socialist channels as well, of course. We have had ongoing battles with the algorithm and such, plus other technical issues in the 2 years that we've been a channel and doing streams as well, which began a bit later than the channel was created. Anyway, great to see you in chat, Clockenders. Thanks a lot for the verbal support. Because I think every single one of our members is worth 1 million. Quality viewers, indeed. And that's what we do like to see.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We can dig that. So yes, PMQs, a double billing on hot seats, and then we'll take a look at a few more stats and polls and things after Lammy's Lingo. That's the game that goes alongside PMQs. I'll explain more about that in a couple of moments. For anybody who's not familiar with the game, we do have an opening comedy clip to take a look at first though. I've actually not done more shoutouts for people in the chat, forgive me. I'll take care of that before we get into the comedy clip. Darren Smith, nice to see you as well. Aaron Gray. Mobius, of course, I've already given a nod to, but not a nod to Mobius's YouTube channel. Do check it out if you are of the green-fingered variety, any horticultural viewers. Do check out Mobius's channel. Nebraska Jones, nice to see you as well. And Big Jerry is in the house. How you doing, big fella? Good point as well, Jerry. If Elon Musk wants civilization to move to Mars, you see he'd rather, of course, fantasize about human civilization being able to survive in an environment that's constantly trying to kill you both from without and within, as opposed to taking care of this planet that we have, the one and only blue dot, as Carl Sagan put it. The lone blue dot. So they can lead by example. Yes, please do demonstrate. Let's get them all over there first. if they manage to survive, I guess what would be a reasonable amount of people? 5 years, 10 years, whatever you might think it'd be. Yeah, if they can pull that off, then load up the rockets, let's all get over it. No, I'm only joking, it'll never happen. Never happen. There's more chance of the Hyperloop actually happening than civilization on Mars. And at the end of the day, you're at the whim, I guess, and behest and control of whichever oligarch, billionaire, or trillionaire, perhaps, by the time we get there. Genuine trillionaire, not this stock market hype on paper crap. But maybe an actual trillionaire. Wouldn't be good, because they have a tendency to get somewhat authoritarian. Aaron, good point. Yeah, that's just one of many factors that make it so difficult, not just to get there in the first place, but to what? Set up colonies on Mars? No, that's the realms of fantasy, really. Its radiation levels, incredibly intense storms, the likes of which we don't really get here on Earth. Even though Mars is only about, what, a third of the size of planet Earth, obviously very intense storms as well. No chance of irrigation, this kind of thing, certainly not on an industrial scale. Perhaps films like The Martian with, of course, Matt Damon, fueled fantasy that could be done on perhaps a smaller scale, but yeah, that's Hollywood for you. And you can apparently heal a stab wound with gaffer tape as well. The was it a staple gun as well? I think it would have you think. Anyway, that's another topic. This is a serious channel about politics, actually, not about intergalactics, although obviously oligarchy came into it, but a serious channel all about politics and society from a left-wing perspective. And I say that just as we're about to go into the opening comedy clip, which is another great one from Jonathon Pye.
This was a bold political gambit, but it looks like the gambit may not have paid off for Nigel Farage. It's worth stating that when he wins this by-election, which looks now to be a formality, that investigations into him will resume and could, in theory, trigger yet another by-election. An interesting few weeks ahead. Oh God, I saw that headline yesterday. I just jizzed in my pants almost immediately. I was in Morrison's. I saw Nigel Farage resigns and I got the biggest hard-on I've had since, 2018. And I accidentally took 2 Viagra thinking they were Panadol. It was like a baby's arm for about 2 weeks. Nigel Farage resigns. I mean, it's the headline that wet dreams are made of. It should have been such a happy day, and yet he even manages to sully his own resignation by resigning without actually fucking off anywhere. It felt like, you know when the wrong film was read out at the Oscars, and then they had to walk on stage and say, sorry, it wasn't you actually, sorry, we'll take that. He resigned, but he didn't. He's resigned, of course, because it was revealed that for years he was bankrolled by a convicted fraudster who once wrote a book all about money laundering, where in one chapter he explains the best way to buy a politician. A pretty decent reason to resign, really. I mean, it's up there with getting the nanny pregnant, but it turns out it's not a resignation, it's a publicity stunt. Christ, did you see him yesterday at the airport? Yesterday morning, getting doorstepped by Sky News. He turned into Liam fucking Neeson. You leave my family alone. Rightly angry at press intrusion of his family, but the whole resignation speech was...
And this is the guy who paraded his family around when he was on I'm a Celebrity as well. When he, I think it was when he was voted off or whatever. The reunion I don't watch that crap. But I've heard it made mention of.
Like just dripping in manufactured victimhood, incredulous that anyone might be genuinely interested in why he's taking all this money off criminals and crypto billionaires and dodgy weirdos with daddy issues. He's done this so when he wins the safest reform seat in Britain and then the investigation resumes and doesn't go in his favour, he can say, well, I've already resigned for this once. And because the investigation into whether he's broken the rules is suspended, he can fight this by-election an innocent man. An innocent man, but a slimy, greasy little shit stain nonetheless. He said it himself, right? I've decided that the people of Clacton should be the judges of my actions. I've decided. The people of Clacton have spoken, so any further questions are just a witch.
Bilderberg, nice to see you in chat. That's a good point as well. Yeah, he did actually not use his own address when registering his candidacy at the 2024 election. He gave his daughter's address, and then all of a sudden, obviously, journalists through various means can get hold of electoral registers and other information and whatnot. And it's in fact himself that has put his family in it. By doing that, and now he's trying to accuse mostly Sky News, I think it is. There's been some CCTV footage circulating of cars showing up at his daughter's address, which he gave. But of course, it's, I won't defend, I won't die on a hill with Sky News, if you know what I mean. Nonetheless, can't act too surprised when they show up. That's an interesting freeze frame of Jonathon Pye. Could be the first of many caption that's on tonight's stream. Thanks for the comment there, Bilderberg. Good point.
He's hoping that the good... This was a bold political...
Sorry about that.
Innocent man, but a slimy, greasy little shit stain nonetheless. He said it himself, right? I've decided that the people of Clacton should be the judges of my actions. I've decided. The people of Clacton have spoken, so any further questions are just a witch hunt. He's hoping that the good people of Clacton will absolve him of all his crimes and misdemeanours. It'll be the people of Clacton, not the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner, that will decide whether that £5 million gift was totally normal, above board and nothing to see here.
Mao say bong.
It's me and the people of Clacton versus the establishment. Farage versus the establishment. He's a privately educated former commodity trader who leads a party that is packed to the tits with ex-Tory cabinet ministers.
Yeah, if you look at them, they don't exactly look like an up-and-coming punk outfit or anti-establishment outfit of any description whatsoever, do they? And it's really ironic, this, because the guy who is now the People's Champion, obviously Count Binface, it's no spoiler that he's the only person standing against Farage, but he calls himself a Count and represents the people, whereas you have a man with a particularly normal and boring name like Nigel, who is in fact all about the establishment. And that's another layer of irony to this whole thing. Yeah.
Nigel Farage is about...
It's juxtaposed, is what I was trying to get at.
...as anti-establishment as the Antiques Roadshow. And it turns out all the parties have concluded the same as me, and they're not going to play Farage's silly little game of victimhood, which means I am in complete agreement with Keir Starmer, Ed Davey, Zach Polanski, Kemi Badenoch and Rupert Lowe. Damn you, Nigel Farage! What he's done is made himself look even weaker, even more desperate, even more like a frog-faced, posh, entitled idiot. He's now opened himself up to having to face further questions, face more questions, and face Count Binface in a televised debate. Nigel Farage will once again be duly elected MP for Clacton with a...
But it is as well probably going to give us the best question time ever, so, there is at least that recompense should Count Binface not be successful. But believe you me, people, we're 100% behind him here at my left eye.
Massively increased majority whilst looking like a complete and utter bellend in the process. Oh, I got another hard on. Okay, yep. Well, just when you thought Westminster had reached peak summer madness, enter stage right, Nigel Farage. Usually
Check out jonathanpie.com. The end of the world, according to Jonathan Pie Tour, still ongoing. If you want to try and get tickets to see him, I have seen him live here in Manchester. What was that, a couple of years ago now? Absolutely fantastic stuff. You again, me again. It's nice to see you again in chat as well. Some good points made there as well about the Farage thing. The CCTV clip, of course, yeah, just shows the guy walking up, probably presses the intercom, nothing happens, and then walks away, as you described there, Mobius. And that is what the press described as could not be contacted for comment. And I think Farage came out and said, you know, couldn't be contacted. Well, look at this grainy CCTV footage. So if I'll just pick a random celebrity, I'm going to say Elton John, just because he came up in the news earlier in the failed lawsuits against journalists, but that's another story. If you went up to Elton John's house, rang the intercom, were met with silence, and then decided to leave, you couldn't exactly go back home and say, "Well, I was in contact with Elton John recently," you know. That's the way it works. But Farage seems to think that we all came down with the last drop of rain. Perhaps the people of Clacton did as well. Darren, as you rightly point out there, if a vox pops on the streets of Clacton or anything to go by, he'll get back in. But do not underestimate Count Binface. This is a very unique situation in British politics, one that I'm certainly looking forward to. And twin with the Manchester mayoral election, it's actually good to have two things to be positive about where ballots in the UK are concerned. But yeah, so I think it was a Politics Joe, Vox Pops, and, well, what can you say? They voted him in the first place. He got 46% of the vote, which does mean that, obviously, 54% didn't vote for him. And if Count Binface can acquire all of those 54% of the votes, then with only two candidates, it goes without saying that he'd be the victor. Or anyone who gets over 50 automatically wins, of course, by default. Regardless, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. More on that. We're going to talk about Clacton and the Manchester mayoral by-election after PMQs. But that was just a quick reminder. There's a link in the description for Jonathon Pie. And do check out the tour if you can.
Socialists.
Nigel Farage would probably describe Sky News as socialists, wouldn't he? Lefty Sky News media. Yeah, the notoriously socialist Murdoch empire, as it were. Yeah, Darren, it is, the Vox Pops are a bit depressing. The thing is, you know, you're looking at people who are hanging around the town centre in the middle of the day, for whatever reason. Try and stay positive. More on that to come. So without further ado, people, we'll get into Keith's catchphrases. In fact, it's Lammy's Lingo this time around. David Lammy stepping in for the Prime Minister again. Of course, pretending to be deputy. It's actually Lucy Powell. And it's my understanding it will be James Cleverly, the ironically named James Cleverly, acting as deputy for the Tories, because they sort of don't really have a deputy. It was Claire Coutinho last time, just 2 or 3 weeks ago that was, actually. 3, I think. So he's back, Lammy's back. Let's see how he does against Cleverly. There he is. Yeah, haven't customised the intro clip and everything else from Keith to David Lammy. Just because, I mean, it's going to be gone by the end of the month anyway. Frankly, can't be arsed, but we'll crack ahead with Lammy's Lingo.
It's a quality item, ladies and gentlemen.
We now come to Prime Minister's questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Deliver. Black hole. Plan for change. 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 Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Right, Lammy's Lingo then. What's it all about? We hit 2 words or phrases against one another to see how many times repetitive Keith might mention them, of course, robotically and nasally, delivering a lot of... Oh, God, I said deliver. Answering in similar ways each PMQs, so we decided to turn it into a bit of a game. There's a few rules that go along with it. The contending phrases have to be spoken by Lammy, in this case. It's a winner stays on format, unless all the others have been played. We do have a defending champion from last week. After a couple of stale 0-0s, we were treated to a 9-0 victory last week. That was Plan, who'll be the defending champion. The challenger will be revealed shortly. Both contenders will also be replaced if it turns out to be a draw, or if you're watching in America, that's a tie. But here in Britain, that's something we wear on formal occasions. Rule number 3, slight variations on the word are allowed. I'll be the judge of what passes or doesn't, so it might be a past tense or a pluralisation, that kind of thing. Finally, within the league, and there is a league of 10 contenders, it is worth 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. You don't get anything for a loss in this game. And we'll see what the current standings are. It's all academic at this point, not just because there are only 3 weeks left, but we've had a crowned champion for some time now. Both of the top 2 having played all the other contenders as well. So Security is the champion with 24 points. Postman Swats representing Deliver on 22. We've had some movements, actually, following that 9-0 victory for Plan last week. That's put Plan up to 3rd, but alas, it seems they won't have enough games, or in fact be able to catch Postman Swats mathematically. So Change pushed down to 4th, and Budget pushed down a place also into 5th. Where the bottom half's concerned, not a lot of movement there. The only thing that's changed since last week, of course, Inheritance at the bottom there has played 1 more game, is 4 losses for 4 with not a single mention, unfortunately, and still sits at the bottom of the league. We have Clear in 6th, who will be tonight's challenger, as it so happens. In 7th is Deal, Black Hole in 8th, and Knob the Builder and Fix in 9th place. There is also, people, anyone who's not a regular viewer, a hidden feature or phrase which can be mentioned by anyone apart from David Lammy, but that won't be revealed unless it is actually mentioned. So it's a sort of game within a game. The hidden word or feature does not have any effect on the league. Right, I think I've got all the formalities out of the way. Jacqueline, nice to see you on stream, and Hedy as well. Solidari-Tea. Yeah, we're just about to start with PMQs. So you can see Plan and Change. We'll just get Lindsay Hoyle ready to go. Let's get started. Let's brew this thing.
Happy birthday to the Leader of the House. We now We now come to the Deputy Prime Minister's questions, and we start with Paul Holmes.
Thank you.
It's I think I'm right. Alan Campbell is the Leader of the House, for anyone who's wondering whose birthday it was.
Mr. Speaker, question number 1, sir.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I've been asked to reply on behalf
You're not the deputy. It was the real deputy, Lucy Powell, you imposter.
of the Prime Minister who's attending the NATO summit. Working with our allies, we're strengthening Europe's role in the alliance that remains the cornerstone of our national security.
You are warmongers working for the industrial military complex, and a right set of bastards to boot.
Yesterday, the Prime Minister met with the Prime Minister of Norway, and I'm sure this House will join
Did he say, let us win on Saturday?
me in wishing good luck to the England team ahead of the World Cup quarter-finals.
Oh, that is actually what he was referring to.
Mr. Speaker,
I thought it was going to be, you know, something diplomatic and whatever.
Mr. Speaker, this week we mark the awful anniversary of 7/7.
It's serious
The
now.
day
We're laughing, now it's serious.
when people travelling through London on a bright summer morning had their lives ended and changed forever, including my best friend, James Adams. We remember all those affected by those terrible attacks, and we will always stand against terrorism. And Mr. Speaker, the Labour Party also pays...
Oh, what, by supporting Israel? No, come on, it's double standards. And it's an insult to the victims as well. Why was that TV footage from inside the tube station never released, Lammy? There are some questions to be asked about that. Again, the families might want answers. Been seeing since yesterday, unfortunately, the far right on social media trying to whip this up, you know, what they describe as Islamists. They really mean Muslims when they say that, but they think people are as stupid as they are. Yeah, and making false associations, dog whistling, race baiting, all of the rest of that silly shit that they do. And again, that's an insult to the victims, but I don't want to see any double standards from Lammy either.
Tribute to Sir George Howarth. He was a champion for Knowsley, a distinguished colleague, and a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. We'll miss him deeply, and our condolences are with his wife.
I did forget to, mention as well, I haven't seen PMQs yet, so no spoilers in the chats for anybody who's already seen it. Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier. Combustible Lemon, nice to see you in the chats. Also, Solidari-Tea. Lemon tea, in fact.
Julie and his family. Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
Paul Holmes.
Right, let's get on with
Mr.
it.
Speaker, and can I entirely associate myself with the Deputy Prime Minister's opening and personal remarks? Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister and the Right Honourable Gentleman from Makerfield are both proud football fans. So given that the Deputy Prime Minister clearly thinks the Prime Minister has always been match fit, how does he feel that his own MPs are given the boss...
Don't you dare start doing political football puns. I mean, this is the second time that football's come up, and we're only 2 minutes in.
Red card.
Maybe they'll do some actual politics in a minute. And he said red card as well. It's going to be one of those, isn't it? Well, standing by for appropriate inserts.
And brought on a left winger to get them out of the relegation zone.
Oh, fuck off.
That's not bad for someone who represents a Premier League side. But 2 years since the election, the honourable member still needs to engage with the facts of the Tories' failed period in government. As his colleagues now accept this, the former Treasury Minister, the former...
I don't know if you picked that up. I heard someone shouting in the background there, relegation! Fucking hell. They're all getting the football political bingo cards out, aren't they? Excuse me. Quite humid here. Quite dry and muggy, actually. I think it was Darren was asking if anywhere's getting muggy in the UK. It certainly is. It's 22 degrees here at the moment. I do have a brew. But I've also got another separate, colder, refreshing beverage as well.
Community Secretary, the former Health Minister, the former Immigration Minister, and that's just the member for Newark. He wrecked the country, helped wreck the Tory party, and now wants to do it all over again with reform.
Jeff Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 3 weeks' time, Greater Manchester residents will have the chance to vote for Labour's brilliant candidate, Bev Craig, to be...
Fuck off. Coggins. We want fucking Coggins. Coggins.
I've worked with Bev for many years, so I know her strong record as a leader and what an outstanding mayor she'll be. Will the Deputy Prime Minister join me in welcoming Bev's pledge to extend free travel on public transport to all 11 to 18-year-olds? So all our young people in Greater Manchester can have the independence to travel to the...
Yeah, I'll give it to him on one condition. You got to turn your fucking phone off or wear headphones, dickhead.
The work, education and leisure opportunities they deserve.
Well, I agree with my honourable friend. Bev Craig will be a brilliant mayor for Greater Manchester. I'm proud that Labour is putting power...
I am actually really pleased that it's a three-way race. We'll get onto that later, but the top three likely candidates are all female in this case, which is a rarity in British politics, certainly perhaps at a mayoral level, even more so as well. But Bev Craig could find herself disappointed because Labour's name is mud in Manchester at the moment. Going off the locals, it's all about the Greens.
Over bus services back in the hands of local leaders, this government has extended franchising powers, capped fares, invested to deliver better services, and we're ensuring children can enjoy free bus travel this summer. I'm sure colleagues will want to get behind Bev in Greater Manchester so that we can defeat Reform's divisive candidate and drive the agenda forward under a new mayor.
Shall the Secretary of State, Sir James Cleverly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. God. I would like to echo the Right Honourable Gentleman's tribute to Sir George Howarth and pass on my party's condolences to his friends, family and loved ones. I also wish to echo his support and encouragement to the England football team in their forthcoming match against Norway. And of course, I will echo his words about those people murdered on 7/7. Their friends, their families, but also pay tribute to the emergency services that did so much on that day. Will he apologise to the victims of the rapists, sexual predators and paedophiles that he is planning to release early?
We've got Buffer here. Just give me a few seconds. James, what on earth are you doing? That's quite vulgar. I'll have to insist that you cease immediately. Sorry about that. It's very hot in here as well. Of course, it doesn't help with the equipment.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm delighted to welcome the Shadow Housing Secretary to the dispatch box. He, of course, could have been doing this job every week if he were better with numbers. He's the Foreign Secretary. He was the Foreign Secretary in government that botched Brexit, the Home Secretary in a government that decimated neighbourhood policing, and one of the shortest-serving education secretaries in our history. Now he asked...
I'm delighted to start laying into this fella. It's fucking low-hanging fruit, James Cleverly. It's
about
easy.
A very serious issue, and every decision we have taken has been based on public safety and delivering justice for victims. Let's talk about the context. The last Labour government built 28,000 prison places. We're building 14,000.
So you could fill them up with supporters of Defend Our Juries.
By 2031, we've already delivered 3,200. Under the Tories, they closed 23 prisons. 23. Gloucester, closed. Shrewsbury, closed. Portsmouth, closed. Holloway, closed. Northallerton, closed. And what are they now? A block of flats. That's why we have to have an early release scheme. That's why we passed the Sentencing Act. And we're putting community powers locally to make sure that we protect the public.
Sir James Cleverly.
From menaces like Sue Parfitt, who's an octogenarian and retired Anglican priest, this is the real menace on Britain's streets, people. Be careful out there.
Mr. Speaker, he makes a joke about use of figures. Let me give him a figure. 50,000 prisoners released early in just 2 years on his watch. And I am genuinely shocked. I am genuinely shocked, Mr. Speaker, that when given the opportunity to apologise to victims, he very publicly failed to do so. And let me remind him what this is about. Let me quote Fiona Goddard, herself a victim of grooming gangs, who has been brave and open about how his policy will impact her. And she says, "Finding out that they may be released early has completely set me back. I have barely left the house. I feel constantly anxious, frightened, and unsafe. I can barely
Feelings over facts is what you're saying.
sleep. This is the impact his policy is having on victims. He refuses to
Focusing on outlying cases, of course, as is often the tact.
apologise. But why is he pursuing a policy which he must know is both wrong and dangerous?
Ogham the Bold, nice to see you in chat. Yeah, plenty of space for Prince Andrew behind bars. If there were any real justice, of course.
This is a very serious issue, and the Honourable Gentleman is experienced in this House. He knows that while he was Home Secretary, they had an early release scheme that set out 10,000 offenders, 10,000 under his... They had...
I'm not counting scheme as plan. It has to be pretty on the nose with plan or planned, planning, that sort of thing, but not scheme as a variable.
6 schemes within a year. They had a scheme that they announced on the 6th of June 2023, another scheme on the 17th of October 2023, another scheme on the 8th of March 2024,
If I was,
in April.
if I was, they'd be running away with it by now, but nope, must abide by my ruling.
Another in May, another in June.
In a socialist fashion, of course.
All before the election, and that's why Rishi Sunak, it's rumoured, called the election in the first place. They left a system with just 83 empty cells. That's what the Justice Secretary previous to me inherited when she came into office.
And you filled them up with retirees and disabled placard holders and people who literally have to physically stop the levers of power where complicity in a genocide is concerned, because our government are so inactive, in fact, complicit themselves, because they lob it up to the eyeballs. Those sort of people, 83 spaces.
That's why we had to pass the sentencing scheme. He hasn't said what they would do now to fix the system. Of course, we think of every victim, and that's why we're...
Why not turn the entire country into a veritable prison? That should solve you. Oh, you're already working on that solution, I see.
Notifying victims in discussion with all victims. I sat last week in my surgery with a victim of grooming gangs. All of us want to see offenders locked up. That's why we've got to have prison capacity.
Sir James Cleverly.
Mr. Speaker, he talks about 10,000 early release over 14 years of Conservative government. They have released 50,000.
Just pause. Jimmy C, as he likes to refer to himself. I still prefer the colloquial term twat. But I have paused to thank Hedy for the gifted memberships. Now let me just scroll up. 5, in fact. Sorry, I've only... So another 4 to the total. Thanks again, Hedy. Let's big up Hedy in the chat, please. Everybody, Solidarity for that. So it's 144. 144, that's the scores on the doors. Back to Jimmy C, better known as Twat.
In 2 years. And he knows it's wrong. He is a good man. He must know that it is wrong to release 5,000 serious criminals, including rapists, including paedophiles. And not only does he know it's wrong, but his party knows it's wrong. 400 Labour...
If the Tory party were interested in apprehending such people, then why did they slash the police numbers by so much? I'm not trying to defend Labour or Lammy in saying that, but just pointing it out as, of course, empirical evidence that on the other side of the problem, in the prevention side, rather than the incarceration side of things, the Tories are equally responsible.
MPs, and not one voted to support the government's policy in the vote last night. They know it's wrong. The country knows it's wrong, but he insists on pursuing it anyway. So if he will not change course, will he at least make this guarantee that not one rapist or paedophile will be released early later on this year?
He hasn't proposed what they would do if they were in office. They released 10,000 with 4 different schemes. No impact assessment when they released them. No victim contact when they released them. No.
We're into the shouting in the mirror part of PMQs here, where no one really has any high ground to stand on. They both have appalling records, and you just see them go through the usual trash. It appears at this point, from where I've paused it there, that Rachel Reeves is now well into the end of career mental crisis. You can see as she's forebodingly considering her future. She always looks like she's just about to break down and lose it, doesn't she?
No warning, they did it on the sly. And let us be clear, yes...
You know, in films and stuff where it zooms in and they're completely zoned out and what they're listening to starts to get muffled, or it sounds like it would if they were underwater or whatever, while they start to fixate on some other completely different thoughts as well, and then they snap back into reality. That's what it's like for Rachel Reeves every time at PMQs. Perhaps that's what it's like for you when you watch PMQs as well.
We've got more probation officers. They, of course, cut probation, decimated it because of Chris Grayling. We've invested £700 million in probation. We're rolling out the largest programme of tagging in our history. We're forcing offenders to stay boxed in certain areas rather than where victims are. We're creating alcohol, pub, football and driving bans. We're implementing income reduction orders, and we're...
Are they changing things? Have they got a plan? It could be one of those where, like we had last week a bit, starts to dance around the words but not quite land on them and then go off on a streak. Like he did with, what was it before, Scheme. Might do the same again. We've changed this, we've changed... And then he'll start the call and response pantomime, of course, which I know that you're all big fans of as well, when they all join in unison.
Expanding chemical castration for sex offenders. None of it happened when they were in power.
Yep, and still no mention of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, as well as Hedy's pointing out in the chat. Sorry, we've got a fly in the studio here as well. Phil's going to deal with that, though. I don't think it warrants releasing the Primate IT team. They're not really trained to catch insects, but they are pretty good at networking and PC repair. So, and Caesar, in fact, is turning out to be quite a good systems analyst as well.
Sir James Cleverly.
Mr. Speaker, he will look back on this exchange, and I think he will be shocked by how this is coming across. No apology to the victims, no guarantee that paedophiles and rapists will not be released early. We all know that releasing dangerous criminals on purpose...
Well, if apart from certain extreme categories, obviously serial killers, this kind of thing, but apart from those cases, if it's everybody, then yes, it includes that, but it will, you know, also include people who are in prison for stealing cars, burglary as well. So just to say that, you know, oh, you can't guarantee that one won't go out there and they might ruin all of society. Perhaps they'll show up at Nigel Farage's daughter's house.
Purpose is the wrong thing, but not content with doing that, he is hell-bent on releasing dangerous criminals by accident. Yep. Last year, in response to the questions of my right honourable friend, the member for South Suffolk, he claimed that under Labour he had got a grip of accidental releases. Yet we now know there have been more accidental releases in the last 2 years than in the entirety of the last Parliament. So I give him another chance. Will he apologise to the country for his abject failure at keeping prisoners in prison where they belong?
I've got to say, this is rich coming from the honourable gentleman. Exactly. They had 14 long years in power. They I
don't think people like, you know, and I could name so many friends of mine being in prison for non-violent direct action. You'll also notice cleverly doesn't bring them up any more than he brings up Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor either. But it's just stunning. It just really is stunning, the state of British legislation right now.
Neighbourhood policing, he was Home Secretary. Prisons were at bursting point, that's why they called the general election, and they let out offenders in secret, and that is why we have the Sentencing Act that passed through this House and the House of Lords. What we're doing is we are getting thousands more bobbies on the beat, we're toughening up probation, they decimated it, and we have to have the space to knock up dangerous criminals. That's what...
Of course, there is that infamous video of Lammy in his own constituency in Tottenham doing a piece to camera, asking where all the police are and saying, you look around and there are none, as literally one enters the frame of the shot and starts to walk across the street behind him.
Why we passed the sentencing bill.
Sir James Cleverly.
Mr. Speaker, it's the dangerous criminals that he is letting out early. So he refuses to apologise to victims, he refuses to guarantee that sexual offenders and rapists will not be released early. Another thing that the country and indeed this House knows instinctively is wrong is his personal crusade to scrap trial by...
Well, there's only a finite amount of spaces, James. And if he was, and again, I'm not defending Lammy, I'm not defending Labour, but if he didn't, then you'd be saying, oh, well, why aren't you putting these people in prison? You can't have it, you know, you can't have it both ways.
Jury, we know that it will not clear the backlog. We know that it undermines fundamental British freedoms, and we know the legal profession is united against it. So will he now admit that it is wrong, and will he commit to reverse his proposals to scrap trial by jury?
Well, let's be clear, Mr. Speaker.
That's actually the first sensible thing that might have ever come out of James Cleverly's mouth in calling for the proposal to scrap trial by jury, to be scrapped itself. Of course, regular viewers of the channel will know that we're dead against that here at My Left Eye. It's a right that we've had for hundreds of years. Can't just be done away with just to sort out a few statistics for David Lammy's convenience.
There is no proposal before this House to scrap trial by jury. The honourable member needs to do better and get on the detail. There is a threshold change. There is a threshold change. Margaret Thatcher made a change to jury trials. David Cameron...
Right. Right. Doing that thing, is he?
Well, who do you suggest we play? Thatcher!
Made a change to jury trials. The vast majority of criminal cases in...
Not in the way that you are, David.
This country are dealt with by magistrates, again, which they cut. We're restoring the magistrate, and they can do more. We're investing in our courts. They ran our courts down. We're modernising our courts. We're introducing digital ID, and we need reform.
Sir James, cleverly.
Mr. Speaker, he talks in glowing...
First of all, no, we don't need reform. Don't say that. Certainly not in Clacton-on-Sea. And did you notice that Lindsay Hoyle sort of forgot James Cleverly's name there? He went, James, and then there was a 5-second gap and Cleverly.
We're restoring the magistrate, and they can do more. We're investing in our courts. They ran our courts down. We're modernising our courts. We're introducing digital ID, and we need reform.
Sir James, cleverly.
Mr. Speaker, he talks in glowing...
He could decide if he was going to shout or not. Sir James, cleverly.
In terms about what he's claiming to do, what we are actually seeing this government doing is stripping money from where it's needed and squandering it on the welfare bill, which is ballooned by £20 billion this year alone. And he talks about getting over the detail. Here's a simple detail for him.
Half of welfare is pensions, of course, and we have an ageing population.
When I was Home Secretary, we had more police officers than at any point in British history. Since taking over, that number has dropped by over 2,000 officers. Mr. Speaker, at the dispatch box last week, my right honourable friend, the Leader of the Opposition, highlighted this government's failure to defend us internationally. Today, I have outlined his failure to defend us domestically. If the soon-to-be Prime Minister... Is he in the room anywhere? No. If the soon-to-be Prime Minister...
Can you say the room? Don't you have to say this place or the chamber?
Minister does not want to be complicit in his failure, he should come out and condemn this plan, not just hint that he opposes it. Because if Labour cannot protect the citizens of this country, either domestically or internationally, then what on earth is the point of them?
Mr. Speaker, he insists on proving that he can't count. We lost 16...
Is the Speaker over there on the back benches?
1,000 police officers when they were in power. Mr. Speaker, the British people haven't forgotten what the party opposite did to our country. After 2 years of a Labour government, I'll compare our record.
At least just give us a score.
Our record every day of the week. Their record is the biggest fall in living standards in recorded history. Our record is the biggest upgrade to workers' rights in a generation. Their record is wrecking our criminal justice system.
Quick updates on Rachel Reeves. She is, of course, looking increasingly despaired.
Our record is bringing down violent crime. Their record is millions of people stuck on NHS waiting lists.
Look at, she's like, God, maybe Nietzsche was right. What's the point? What's the point in anything?
Our record is cutting NHS waiting lists, the fastest rate in history. Their record is cutting defence. He was a reservist. They hollowed out the armed forces. Our record is the biggest boost to defence spending since the early 1990s. And our record...
Honestly, she looks like she's just received the news that her favourite pet turtle, Clarence, has unfortunately passed away.
their record is plunging hundreds.
Did he suffer? Yes, I'm afraid he did, Rachel.
Hundreds of thousands.
Not as much as we have, having you as Chancellor.
Thousands of children into poverty. Our record is lifting 500,000 of children out of poverty. I'll take our record over theirs any day of the week.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Family C official report about the most depraved sexual abuse of children identifies serious failures by Glasgow City Council and other bodies. The report, Mr. Speaker, says one child victim banged on the windows, shouting at a health visitor not to leave. This was treated as streetwise and not a desperate cry for help. Staff described the same child with contempt, saying the child's behaviour was nasty and interfering. The children desperately needed compassion, love and safety, not contempt. Does my right honourable friend agree with me that the Council must accept robust, independent scrutiny of what has happened and independent scrutiny of the implementation of improvements?
Well, Mr. Speaker, this case involves horrific offences against vulnerable children. I know all members...
Yeah, I can't say I'm familiar with the case. Unfortunately, it's not been mentioned too much here in the mainstream media. That is, of course, shocking if it is the way that it was put there.
...of this House will join me in paying tribute to the victims who've shown remarkable bravery in coming forwards. It's evident that these children were dreadfully failed, and Glasgow City Council must urgently act on the recommendations of this review. I know my honourable friend has written to the Scottish Government to request an independent inquiry. The SNP should consider this request with the gravity that it deserves.
Daisy Cooper, Deputy Leader of the Liberal Democrats.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I associate...
And again, I'll make the point, just because Starmer goes, yeah, Lammy fills in for him, but they don't have to replace everyone else with deputies as well. It's not like Ed Davey is there, Kemi Badenoch at NATO, so on and so forth. It's just, oh, well, if they're going to go, why don't I get a go as well? It's just kind of bizarre that they switched to... It's almost like the B team or whatever. They have to do it in its entirety instead of it just being... well, Lucy Powell, as it should be, in fact, the real deputy, replacing the Prime Minister. But maybe she's just not up for it at the moment.
Myself and my party with the Deputy Prime Minister's tribute to Sir George Howarth, his remarks about the 7/7 bombings and all those who live with the consequences of that terrible day, and wish England good luck for Saturday evening. And as the UK braces for its 7th Prime Minister in a decade, can I also thank the Deputy Prime Minister for our exchanges and wish him well in whatever role he may have.
Yeah, and as far as circumstances go, leading up to somebody becoming Prime Minister, I have to think this is one of the most sickening and heinous things to have happened in UK politics, personally. I mean, the guy who got single-digit figures when he was running for leader of the opposition and now finds himself pretty much, well, literally walking unopposed into number 10. That says a lot about the Labour Party, and it's just absolutely fucking disgusting. Really can't believe it.
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Member for Clacton used to say...
Oh.
Hidden feature unlocked. Hidden feature unlocked. Please try to remain calm during this extraordinary event.
Yes, it's an extraordinary event. That is this week's hidden feature word. The member for Clacton is, of course, the Furage. So that's 1-0 now. As we bring up his sordid little corner. Where is it? There we go. And that puts him on 1. Finally, some action. It's inaction man aka the £5 million man who's got the ball rolling. Well, that's the first time he's come up. Let's see how many more we can get. Crack on.
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Member for Clacton used to say...
I'm going to count that as... So, obviously, they can't mention people by name. They have to mention which constituency they represent the member for. Whichever, so that's 2 now. I forgot the bell, actually. That's 2 for Furage.
means leave.
The Furage. Ich habe...
It seems his latest
Eine
stunt
deutschen
is
Passport.
to leave this place, just so that he can return as a fully fledged member after not just one referendum on his behaviour, Mr. Speaker, but possibly 2. So will the Deputy Prime Minister join us in urging the Chancellor to delay the Honourable Member for Clacton's resignation
That's
until
3.
the investigation is complete, so the good people of Clacton have all the facts before they cast their votes, and failing that, will he support our
You see what I mean? You wait ages and then they just start to come in a series.
Clacton clause, so that
3
even
already.
once the Honourable Member ceases to be an MP, the investigations can continue?
Well, everyone can see that the Reform leader is just trying to distract from the fact that he's up to his neck in sleaze. He's got serious questions to answer.
Pains me to agree, but it is true. That is what this is all about.
Damn right! He can't run away from them. Labour isn't going to be part of this circus. I hear it's the people versus the establishment. The city trader Putin...
It is, but the count is the anti-establishment in this case. Yeah, as someone with an aristocratic title is the anti-establishment, and the sort of normal named Nigel is in fact all about it. It's establishment all the way.
Professional politician who's pals with crypto...
I just really can't believe this is happening. Yeah, we'll get on to more about that later with Hot Seats.
Billionaires versus Count Binface.
Come on, Binface. Go on yourself, Binface.
There have been unqualified joke candidates in the past. Let's see what the people of Clacton decide.
Daisy Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's clear it's a 2-horse race.
Well, if all the other candidates were going to withdraw, you could say it was inevitable.
Mr. Speaker, on a more serious and very sombre note. on a sombre note, Mr. Speaker. On a sombre note. MI5.
Just before this, I mean, oh God. No, I'll leave this till hot. I keep wanting to talk about Binface and stuff more, but I'll try to save most of it for Hot Seats. It's apparent that it's come up here, of course. It was almost bound to. In fact, we might have predicted it by making Nigel Farage the hidden feature word.
Has defended in court an agent that they knew to be openly misogynistic, obsessed with violence, and who used his position to coercively control his girlfriend Beth and attack her with a machete.
Yeah.
To add insult to injury, MI5
awful.
also gave false evidence to the court.
And they always look after their own, don't they? The establishment, yeah. And there's so much injustice where the Met police is concerned as well. Don't get me started on that. But it's that's where the real, air quotes, 2-tier policing is.
So will the Deputy Prime Minister use this opportunity to offer Beth a full apology on behalf of the
Just
government?
nepotism.
And will he use his
Protection
position
via
to
nepotism.
bring back a full Hillsborough bill next week, which covers the security services, so that we can pass the law before the summer recess?
Good point there, Mo. Yeah, just a reminder, our latest video does concern that on the Thwaites Doomsday Glacier. It's another hot one this week. It's another hot live stream tonight with a double billing on hot seats. It's getting white hot here in the studio. Update on the fly, it still remains, although it's currently at large.
Well, she raises
somewhere.
a very serious issue, of course, and I will arrange for
What's
Beth
going on, Phil?
to meet with the Security Minister to discuss this in detail. She also raises the Hillsborough Bill, and I'm confident that this will be before the House in the coming days.
Emily Darwin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Deputy Prime Minister and most of us across this House have been victims of AI-generated fake news, aka deepfakes. These mislead the public and they disrupt our democracy. BBC News coverage and coverage from other news channels is also being AI manipulated to tell untruths.
It's getting out of hand, really, and it's making a lot of platforms almost unwatchable at this point. You know, I don't mind good comedy or good parody, but just the level of slop already, and this is before we go even further into the so-called artificial intelligence revolution that the capitalists are so eager to get going.
Alongside MPs from across this House, support the amendments I've tabled to the Representation of Peoples Act, which would force anything that is AI created to be labelled as such and stop the production of deepfakes of ourselves and colleagues, and stop the UK from these destructive tactics used by foreign states and others who wish to see our democracy made weaker.
Well, I'm very grateful to my honourable friend.
And I do want to point out as well, we took the decision a while ago not to use any AI comedy clips and stuff from now on. Well, we have done occasionally in the past on the channel. Yeah, we want to keep My Left Eye 100% human-made and human-made content as well.
Right that our protections must keep pace with evolving threats, including deepfakes. I know she's been in close discussions with ministers on this issue, and we will look at her amendment closely. We're absolutely focused on protecting our democracy against foreign interference.
Dr. Ellie Chand.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's another episode or another case in the Don't Get Me Started files, whatever you might call it. Foreign interference, foreign lobbying, you know what I'm talking about. It starts with an I, ends with an I. Yeah. Israeli lobbies. Ridiculous. Show us your account, show us all of your declarations and donations, Mr. Lammy. Duplicitous bastards.
Our politics needs fixing fast. The broken, outdated first-past-the-post system has clearly failed to deliver stable government. We urgently need to rebuild trust in our democracy and ensure that everybody's vote counts equally.
Damn
so
right!
Does the Deputy Prime Minister agree with the Right Honourable Member for Makerfield that proportional representation is an idea whose time has come?
PR. Ellie Chowns here from the Green Party.
Does he agree with me and members across this House that time is now, before the next general election?
Well, I'm very pleased
absolutely
that
certainly
she
is.
raises the issue of votes and democracies.
No, she asked you about PR specifically.
But I've got to say this to the Greens. During the local elections, a Green councillor
Talking about PR, David, keep up.
in Lewisham described me and the Shadow Foreign Secretary as coconuts. Her party looked the other way, kept her candidate in post, and have rewarded that candidate with a council job. I'm not making this up, the cabinet member for Healing. The Greens could start.
Not familiar with this case. Is this true? And even so, what's it got to do with preventing proportional representation?
healing process by stopping such racist language.
Douglas McAllister. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This week marks the second anniversary of our Labour government, and two years on, my Western Bartonshire constituents now enjoy greater rights at work. Thousands of workers are now better off thanks to increases in national minimum wage. Thousands of children lifted out of poverty. Tens of millions of pounds in Pride in Place funding to communities previously left behind. Shipbuilding on decline secured with the Norwegian naval deal. Billions of pounds investment in Fast Lane. As well as a new youth hub set to open next month. I think even the woman's sitting down, it's not me. I think the Deputy Prime Minister could even answer that. This is what.
Oh, you've remembered that you've actually got a job in that,
Well,
Lindsay.
can I commend my honourable friend for the difference that he's made, including his hard work.
Sorry, we've got another buffering situation here. Just give us a few seconds, people.
Oh, come on. Not there, please. Not there. Oh, you fucking bastard.
As you can see, we're experiencing a minor technical difficulty here on My Left Eye. Our team of expertly trained technicians are working busily to restore the stream. In the meantime, please make sure that you've hit the thumbs up button harder than you'd like to hit Keir Starmer in the Ghoulies, and left a comment down below. Thank you.
Happy birthday to the Leader of the House. We now come to...
Right, we're back. I'll just find a place for up to roughly... call it here.
He lists an amazing record in 2 years, and we've got 3 more to go, Mr. Speaker.
James Member.
Just quickly want to say, Mo, yeah, I totally get that about famous people. Their voices, often the voices of deceased people being used in AI as well. Richard Feynman was, of course, excellent physicist, really good at explaining physics as well. Really great concepts, really knew his stuff. You've got to put him up there with the rest of them. But yeah, it's fake, and they often get them saying things that they never said in the first place. They don't have, you know, the express permission of the families. I'm totally with you on that one, Mo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Understandably, over the past week, rules and regulations have come under sharp focus. But even more important than the rules and regulation is the law. And on that topic, I believe there are a number of things where everyone in the House can agree and everyone in the House can feel proud. Phrases such as without fear and favour, and symbols such as Lady Justice wearing a blindfold. Now, I'd like to ask the Deputy Prime Minister, however well-meaning,
not said plan or change yet.
The NPCC and the College of Policing, with their programmes such as the Race Action Plan, may be, we have seen some very high-profile cases where civil unrest has, where faith in police has been shaken by what appears to be two-tier decision-making. So may I ask...
Could you hear? I could hear the bells in the background there, Big Ben.
May I ask in good faith what the Deputy Prime Minister can do to reassure people that without fear and favour will always be maintained?
What can I say to the honourable gentleman? Everyone is equal before the law. That is the foundation on which openness, tolerance and generosity of this country is rested. And let's be clear.
Tolerant for non-violent protesters, David.
There is no two-tier justice in this.
That could also refer to non-violent direct action protesters. Again, David.
Country. And can I say, the honourable member was elected as a reform member of Parliament, and he clearly aspires to become one once more. Given
Sarah poaching there. Sorry, my mind just went back to the Hannah Spencer comment and the look on her face when she was stood behind her. What was that about? a month ago when Hannah Spencer, what did she call them? Trash or something, or a stench or something like that. Can't remember the exact words, but called them out quite rightly. But she always seems to be permanently sour-faced anyway.
Reports that concerns were raised with the National Crime Agency about Nigel Farag's $5 million gift. He should be asking, where did the money really come from?
No law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm deeply grateful.
Well, you know, the man of the people, the anti-establishment guy, gets a lot of financial help from... But I'll just pick a name off the top of my head here. Yeah, how about George Cottrell? And they call him Posh George as well, if that's not as much of a giveaway. But he's also a particularly naughty person. He did get convicted, he did get charged with a lot of things. He ended up agreeing to accept a charge of wire fraud, but it was actually caught by the FBI in a sting operation offering to launder drug money for cartels. That's Posh George, Nigel Farage's right-hand man.
Grateful for what the Prime Minister has helped us deliver in Cornwall the past couple of years, whether that's free breakfast clubs, urgent capital funding for GP surgeries, or the Kerno Industrial Growth Fund. However, what's held us back at various points, not beside the chuntering from the other side, I would argue completely unnecessarily, is something to which the answer is patently obvious to all in Cornwall: the question of who should be the masters of Cornwall's strategic destiny. Does he agree with me that the answer to this question must always be Cornwall? And will he make time for the government to lay the statutory instrument required to make Cornwall once and for all a strategic authority, so that when the Right Honourable Member for Makerfield comes in, that we can ensure that good growth in every postcode and reindustrialisation of Cornwall?
Well, can I thank my honourable friend? He's right to champion the huge potential of Cornwall. We're absolutely committed to devolution.
He's going to really start trying to push that catchphrase, isn't he? Andy Burnham's phrase, the one that he ballsed up during his first attempt in that live speech, the growth in every postcode and hope in every heart thing. Got a feeling that might turn into a game within itself, perhaps in just weeks to come.
And putting power in the hands of local leaders. Conversations with local authorities, including Cornwall, are ongoing, and we will confirm next steps as soon as possible. I know ministers will be happy to update it.
Dr. Ros Savage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My constituency of the South Cotswolds is the 9th most sewage polluted constituency in the entire country, with thousands of hours of sewage pouring into the Thames, Avon and Colne. But that metric of hours conceals the truth. It doesn't convey the actual volume, and clearly a trickle is very different from a gush. So will the Deputy Prime Minister arrange for me to meet with the relevant minister to require water companies to report on the volume and concentration of sewage discharges, as well as the number of hours?
Yep. All of our rivers and streams are full of crap.
Well, she's right. We inherited record
I wish I was speaking
pollution.
figuratively
We're
as well.
determined to tackle this and clean our water.
We have a doctor in the house. Nice to see you, Doc Davies.
Ways we've acted by banning unfair bonuses, introducing jail time for law-breaking bosses, unlocking 104 billion of private investment to rebuild vital infrastructure.
Unlocking? You unlocked it, did you? Was it in a box? Where's the frigging key? Could be. We found it. There it was, along with the 15 billion down the back of a sofa for defence. Did someone say 4 million kids in poverty in the UK? I think they did.
Deliver cleaner waters, and of course we've got the Clean Water Bill. Of course I'll arrange for her to meet with the Minister.
Cat-Ettles.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Stourbridge is famous for many things: the glass industry, Jude Bellingham, Robert Plant, and most important...
Robert Plant? What, from Led Zeppelin? Oh, he's from West Brom, isn't he? West Bromwich.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Stourbridge is famous for many things: the
I know he's a Wolves fan.
glass industry, Jude Bellingham, Robert
Because Match of the Day often points him out when... Oh look, Robert Plant's in the crowd again.
Plant,
Yeah.
and most importantly, the Stourbridge Shuttle, the UK's shortest railway line at just 0.2.
Apologies if I'm getting muddled with my Midlands geography to anyone from the area. Or Robert Plant as well. I'm not sure if he is a viewer, but if you're watching, Robert, thanks a lot. Super chats are open, Mr. Plants, if you feel inclined.
8 miles or 1.3 kilometres if you prefer metric, and it links Stourbridge Junction with Stourbridge Town. Despite its small size, it achieves an impressive 99.6% reliability compared to the West Midlands average of 64.4%. And one of my highlights as an MP was unveiling a shuttle car named after local legend George the Stourbridge Station cat.
Is there a question in this diatribe about Jude Bellingham and Robert Plant?
Whose global social media following made him a beloved fixture at the junction. And today marks the start of Shuttle Shorts, a short film festival celebrating the journey. The shuttle shows how community railway can improve local mobility.
Do your frigging job. Just get her to ask the question, Hoyle.
Does he agree?
Oh, now we're moving to the bottom of a question.
The pre-metro ambition to introduce a VLR service between Stourbridge and Brierley Hill is a valuable opportunity for GBR, and local businesses should be supported to do this.
You could have just literally stood up and asked that, and it would have taken you around 6 seconds. Instead, you're like, "Oh, isn't Stourbridge fucking great? You know, Jude Bellingham's from here."
First, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a statement about the future. It is coming home. And can I thank my humble friend, I'm absolutely echo her sentiment.
Don't have anything against Jude Bellingham, by the way. Certainly not Robert Plant either.
Sentiments on Jude Bellingham. He's not only making Stourbridge proud, but he's a source of pride for the whole nation.
I didn't know he was from
Great
Stourbridge.
British Railways is in the biggest overhaul we're seeing of our railways in a generation. We'll work with all partners.
So Bellingham does goals where he's from, gets a railway line. That's how it's going to work.
Including local authorities and local business to drive investment, support economic growth and deliver better service for her constituents.
Morgan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Constituents in the west side of North Shropshire were delighted when RIS3 was announced, because as part of the National Safety Programme, a roundabout at the desperately dangerous Hlunkers Crossroads became a step closer. But with the announcement that the Defence Investment Programme will be funded by cuts to transport programmes, can the Deputy Prime Minister reassure my constituents that the National Safety Programme won't be cut? And can he consider using the Liberal Democrat idea of defence bonds to fund the Defence Investment Plan so that critical security projects like transport are not put at risk through the programme?
We are raising defence spending to keep this country safe in an increasingly volatile world. That does require tough decisions, and the Department of Transport will set out £700 million worth of savings for roads funding.
Well, it's you made the bed, so line it situation. It'd take me far too long to go in to the in and outs of the geopolitics of it all. But, you know, say, for example, why are certain countries who don't invade other countries not apparently under the threat from other countries? And just how prepared should we be for this hyperbolic enemy? Because one minute everything's going great, and the next minute you're promising us World War III within the next 4 years, which isn't a great omen. But you can say growth about 60 times and hope that that distracts us.
But we will consult on the next road investment strategy.
But please say change our plan at least once and break the deadlock.
Set our decisions in due course. I can reassure the Honourable Lady that safety...
It's going to be a late win, if it is one.
Pam Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ruth Ellis was the last woman to be executed in this country. Her case serves as a haunting reminder of a time...
Oh, yeah, I did hear about this. So, the last woman to be executed in Britain shot a man outside a pub 5 times. She was hung in the 1950s, 56 I think it was, but she was actually a long-term victim of domestic violence. So post-mortem, some considerable time post-mortem, they've decided to change the sentence from the death penalty to a life prison sentence, I think, after an appeal by the grandchildren.
When our justice system ignored the realities of domestic abuse and coercive control. In the decades since, members of Ruth's family and supporters have campaigned unwaveringly for her to receive a posthumous pardon. Will the Deputy...
Was it 55, Jacqueline? Sorry, I was out by 1 year. Apologies. Well, I'm going to decommission the channel immediately. Apologies. Yeah, Phil, wrap it up. We're all done here. What are we going to do with the chimpanzees and the monkeys? No, we're not a reliable source of information anymore. That's what we set out to do. We have failed entirely in that endeavour. Don't feel guilty, Jacqueline. You know, it's my fault. It's on me. It's on me. I was out by a year. No, can't get them all. Can't get them all.
Prime Minister agree with me that their courageous campaign and the terrible lessons of Ruth's case must strengthen the government's resolve to free women from devastating cycles of abuse.
Well, I'm very grateful to my honourable friend.
Emma, nice to see you on stream. Solidari-Tea.
That His Majesty the King has accepted our advice to grant Ruth Ellis a conditional pardon, the last woman to be hanged in the United Kingdom. While the pardon does not claim she was innocent of killing David Blakely, it replaces the death penalty with a sentence of life imprisonment to recognise a profound injustice in this exceptional case. I know her grandchildren, Laura Enston, Stephen Beard, are in the gallery with us today. We hope this brings a measure of peace to Ruth Ellis' family, who have carried the weight of what happened to her for over 70 years.
Gregory Camp.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Government have said that higher taxes are needed to fund rising welfare spending. In Northern Ireland, my party's Communities Minister is taking action to reduce welfare fraud and error. Previous discussions were held between Treasury and the Department that would have allowed Northern Ireland departments to retain a share of any savings to invest directly in public services, but those proposals were blocked by Sinn Féin. Would the Deputy Prime Minister ensure that the incoming Prime Minister will look at that approach again so that we can tackle benefit fraud, protect taxpayers' money, as well as delivering real benefits for communities across all of Northern Ireland?
I don't want to look at corporate tax evasion, and then we could help with problems across the entire of the country.
Well, I know that my honourable friend, the Minister for Northern Ireland, is discussing the budget at this very time, but tackling fraud and error in the welfare system is a priority for this government. That's why we passed the Fraud, Error and Recovery Act, giving the DWP more powers to stop fraud in its tracks, recover money lost and prevent overpayments.
Murphy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday I was proud to host a number of Basingstoke's Nepalese community here in Parliament, including a number of Gurkha veterans. One of the issues we discussed was that of Gurkha pensions, and I pay tribute to the work of my honourable friend for Aldershot for all of her work on this issue. I've been proud to work alongside her. Does the Deputy Prime Minister agree that it is time to resolve the long-standing issue of Gurkha pensions, recognising the service and sacrifice of Gurkha veterans to our country?
Yeah, you don't see Tommy Ten Names paying tribute to the Gurkhas, paying tribute to the million Muslims who gave their lives for this country during World War II either. So it is going to have to be a late win for either plan or change. Can Lammy stick one here now? Come on, please. At least make it a bit worthwhile.
Well, I'm very grateful
just for the game.
to my honourable friend. We owe a profound debt of gratitude to the Gurkhas
Have you got a
who
plan?
have served this country
Gonna
courageously.
change the rules?
We're listening to the needs of the community, and
changing.
we're already improving access to healthcare and community support. Ministers have met with veterans in the government and Nepal for constructive discussions on pensions. Those will continue, and I'd be happy to ensure that my honourable friend is kept updated.
Rebecca Paul.
There's going to be 2 or 3 left
Thank
at
you,
this
Mr.
point.
Speaker. Coughlin's
Tops.
Bakery, which was founded in 1937, has announced the closure of all of its stores, 5 of which are in my Reigate constituency.
Where was that, sorry?
Rebecca Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Coughlin's Bakery, which was founded in 1937, has announced the closure of all of its stores.
I'm not familiar with that franchise. We don't get that up here. Oh, I've not seen it. Anybody got a Coughlin's near where you are? Well, if you live in the constituency that she's talking about.
5 of which are in my Reigate constituency.
There's 5.
The reasons given by Sean Coughlin
Reigate.
include recent employer national
miles away.
insurance and business rate hikes. This much-loved family business that has survived a world war and multiple recessions hasn't been able to survive this Labour government. So I asked the Deputy
There are a few who can.
Prime Minister, how many businesses need to go under before this government learns that it can't tax its way to growth?
Well, they're not taxing the right people. She's obviously referring to the national insurance increase for sort of medium businesses, which does provide a dilemma for those less affluent businesses. You know, you look at the turnover of staff that companies like Amazon have, for example. Once certain companies get to a certain size, they just have a never-ending queue of gullible applicants, which they think means gives them increasing license to treat the staff even poorer, because they know there'll always be somebody willing to replace them. But those are the people that should be taxed.
We're backing business with the lowest corporation tax in the G7. We've delivered the small business plan with the largest crackdown on late payments in 25 years. We're bringing down costs of business.
It's a late one. It's a late one. It's a sensational late score for Plan, which would actually make 3 wins in a row, I think, if they hold out. So that's 1-0. Could it be a sensational late victory and 3 in a row?
Through 5 major trade deals, we've secured $365 billion in private investments since the election, and unemployment down over 400,000 more people in work than this time last year.
Final question for Lammy.
Final question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last month I had the opportunity to host the South Bank Centre in my constituency, one of the many that I'm proud to have across Vauxhall and Campbell Green, for their 75th anniversary. The House may know that the South Bank Centre was built as part of the Festival of Britain 1951, which successfully saw people come together to share the identity after the ruins of the World War II. 75 years on, Mr. Speaker, sadly the world is a more divided place. Recently we've seen 2 far-right marches, including one go through my constituency, leaving many members feeling afraid. But Mr. Speaker, there is hope, as we see with the World Cup bringing people together, showing the power of culture and sport. So does the Deputy Prime Minister agree with me now is the moment to continue to invest in the things that bring us together, just as the government did in 1951?
Yeah. Bit of a planted question, but could there be a dramatic late equaliser for change, or will Plan see out the final moments?
Well, can I thank my honourable friend for the tireless work?
I know you're all on
she
the
does
edges of your
in
seat,
this
so
area. She's absolutely right.
whatever.
We must stand united against those who seek
Position
to
you're
divide
in.
us. Our social cohesion action plan sets out how we
Oh.
will tackle extremism, bring communities together and restore
Well,
national pride.
that
And we're
looks to have done it.
providing local
That's
communities
2.
with up to 1.7 million to insulate them against the threats to social cohesion.
Right, that completes Deputy Prime Minister's questions. Let the front bench change over.
Well, he made us wait for it, but a sensational late victory for Plan there, 2-0. 2-0. Complete dross from Lammy. of course, as usual. I gave my thoughts on PMQs, I guess, as we went through. What did you make of that session? Do let me know in chat or in commentary. If you're watching back later on, so that's 3 points in the bag for Plan, who will defend that victory next week. One of just a few remaining weeks. I guess there might only be 2 or 3 Keith's catchphrases remaining before Andy Burnham takes over, but a late sensational run for Plan, and 3 mentions for today's hidden feature word, Farage, or as they'd refer to him, the Right Honourable Bellend for Clacton. So join us again next week for another Keith's Catchphrases. Plenty more to come on tonight's live stream, though.
It's a quality item, ladies and gentlemen.
We now come to Prime Minister's questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Deliver.
Black hole plan for change.
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 Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Alright, people. Just a reminder, please hit thumbs up on the stream. I can see a few people watching. Might have forgotten to, but please do smash the thumbs up button. And we'll be getting on to the next item.
On with it. Yes, get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it, we shall, because we've got a double billing, actually, on tonight's hot seats. Quite sensational / exciting times in British politics. So from the drab and dross of deputy PMQs onto something a bit more excited. Of course, the latest stunning announcement of a by-election, with Farage having stood down this week, creates with it a hot seat. So we'll go to Clacton first.
Today I will resign as a Member of Parliament for Clacton-on-Sea, thereby forcing a by-election.
I think the twatting broadcast software crashed whilst the intro video was on, so I'm going to play it again. Apologies for that brief delay. Anyone who experienced a moment of buffering there.
Today I will resign as a Member of Parliament for Clacton-on-Sea, thereby forcing a by-election.
Yes, people. So it's Clacton up first. What can you say? Clacton versus Binface. Perhaps the by-election we've all been waiting for. Of course, we're wholeheartedly getting behind Count Binface on the channel. Let's take a look at a couple of bits and pieces here. So I've got a poll, but this is before it turned out that Binface was going to be the only person running against Farage, but the Tories, Labour and Lib Dem had already announced that they'd withdrawn. Not a great deal to take from that, because I think yeah, Binface's inclusion now certainly adds a very interesting factor to this. He was on a BBC radio interview earlier. I think I'm just going to have to upload that one as we're going. But yeah, what do you make of his chances? Let me know in the chat. Early signs indicates if it does happen, it's going to be likely to be on August the 6th.
Now.
Excuse me a second, just have to sort a few things out. So this was on Radio 4 earlier, and that's Justin Webb, I believe. Oh, it's twatting crashed.
Major parties are saying, as we've heard from them all this morning, they are not going to run in. So who better to talk to about this?
Appreciate your patience there, people. Sorry about the crash. It's tremendously hot in here. Broadcast software. It doesn't seem to like it one bit. Just screen. Okay, people. Not actually seen this interview yet, just managed to grab it before we came on stream. So let's see what's happening.
Joining us live, Count Binface himself. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Justin. Good morning, today listeners, planet Earth. It is a pleasure to be here.
I should say you are, I can see a video link of you. You appear to be in outer space and wearing your bin.
Well, what else would you expect, mate? You know, I was on my way back home to Sigma 9, bit of R&R, and then old Nigel throws his toys out of the pram, has a hissy fit, calls an unnecessary by-election. I got wind of that. I've turned around the Starship pronto. How about that? Lovely.
What is your appeal going to be?
Pronto means ready, not quickly. I'm afraid that's rapidamente.
To the people of Clacton.
Well, I'm not Nigel Farage.
It's a full manifesto.
It's brilliant. Oh, it's fucking Nick Robinson as well. Nick Robinson, can I ask you a question? Binface, are you really serious about all of this?
Yes, so I'm assuming from that you are going to be sparse when it comes to policy promises.
How dare you? I've got a full and costed manifesto, Justin.
Nationalise Adele.
I like to tailor it to each constituency. I mean, some of my national policies will remain. I pledge to build at least one affordable house. I will nationalise Adele. I heard your bit about the water, and I'll make water bosses have to take a dip.
Bring back CFAX.
In British rivers to see how they like it. I'll price cap 99 flakes at 99 pence. I think the Clacton folk...
During the second heat dome, that's going to come in as a tremendous help. You see, Binface is also thinking pragmatically with his policies, capping 99 pence ice creams for anyone who's not from the UK, who's not familiar. That's just a standard ice cream cone with vanilla ice cream on it and... what we call a flake. I don't know if you have them where you are, but it's a stick of flaky chocolate which breaks away quite quickly unless you smash it into your gob post-haste.
Like that one. And so it goes on. But if you'd done some research, you'd know that.
Can you win?
Probably
You
not,
bet you-
but then, you know...
You bet your bollocks he can, especially with My Left Eye campaigning behind him and all of the Brew crew here on stream. 100%. I can't say that I'll be getting to Clacton-on-Sea to campaign or speak to campaigners as much as I'll be able to for the Manchester Mayoral election, which we'll be coming on to after Clacton. But yeah, let's make this happen, people. Please, if you are watching in Clacton, get out there. If you don't want Farage, it's the bin. It really is a binary choice in this case. Sorry, I nearly turned into Nick Robinson myself there. But he's guaranteed to come second in an election for the first time in history as well, but by default.
My job is to celebrate and defend the wonders of British democracy. And look at this, eh? The fact that...
Darren, he's in outer space, of course. He's off planet, so that's how he's managing it at the moment, of course, in the in the vast expanse of space.
You're interviewing me on the Today programme,
This is great.
because
This is
all the
brilliant.
other parties aren't standing. It says more about them than it does about me. Are they running scared from old Binny, or do they think that Nigel's running a cunning stunt? And I pronounced that carefully at 8:55 in the morning.
Do you now...
Yeah, because he nearly said stunning. He nearly said stunning.
Moving swiftly on, call on Kemi Badenoch, Sir Ed Davey, and other major party leaders to back your fight for Clacton?
No, I don't need them.
Robinson
I mean, they
tries
can
to
do whatever
take it
they want.
seriously.
They're too busy trying to shore up their own positions, wouldn't you say, Nick? In the face of such trenchant questioning from you. When, of course, you're not celebrating Manchester United. But, you know, I'm game for anything, just like I'm
Fucking
game for the
yes.
fact that your lovely people got me on for 8...
Nick Robinson, he's not fucking from Manchester at all, but he does. He supports those Reds.
45, and I've been listening to taped bits of your debate, and now you've got me in the crazy roller coaster spot. Well,
See, oh God, what's he fucking called? Justin Webb can have a bit of a laugh about it, and I suppose with Robinson being a Tories, I can't believe, you know, this is being taken seriously. I'm a serious political journalist.
the pips might come at any minute. I'm game for anything.
That's quite enough from you, campaign.
Oh, finally
Pleasure to
raises
talk
a bit of a smile. Okay. At the end. Christ. Right, background music, I think. What else do we have for Clacton? Well, Hannah Spencer has shared her thoughts about Farage's efficacy as a Member of Parliament in Clacton. And she's also come to a very interesting conclusion that, in fact, her dog has done more for the local community in Gorton and Denton than Nigel Farage has done for his constituency in Clacton. So let's see what's happening with this one. It's just a short clip from Hannah Spencer. Quiet now, people. She's one of ours.
One of my greyhounds, Judy, who often comes to stuff in the constituency, we worked out, I think she's done more in the constituency than Nigel Farage. Like, my elderly dog has done more community work. I've come, and when I worked out how much I have done in the time that I've been here, in the 4 months I've been here compared to the 2 years he's been here, I have no doubt that I've done more work than him, absolutely no doubt. In fact, one of my greyhounds, Judy, who often comes to stuff in the constituency, we worked out, I think she's done more in the constituency than Nigel Farage. Like, my elderly dog has done more community work. Like, she was at a school assembly last week, she went to a builder's match. Like, that's how much of a joke it is. And it's just absolutely ludicrous. And as I say, people voted for him because they thought he was going to be different, and he's just the same. One of my greyhounds...
Yeah, yeah. Oh, quite literally doing more work than Farage. And I bet the Greyhound doesn't claim as many expenses as well. I think Farage recently tried to claim that he hadn't claimed a single thing. It turned out with some very short work. A quick analysis revealed that he'd actually claimed, I think it was about £26,000. Quite ludicrous. Well said, Anna Spencer. And the Canary have been onto this as well. Shout out to the Canary, who I just mentioned again, sensationally demonetised by their bank recently as well. So do check out the Canary and show some support for this channel.
Did you catch this claim by Nigel Farage in his resignation speech?
This will be a people versus the establishment by-election.
Nigel Farage is the fucking establishment. Farage is a privately educated ex-city banker worth millions. This is Farage pictured with Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks is reportedly worth between 100 and 250 million pounds. Banks has bankrolled many of Farage's projects, including giving £1 million to UKIP. If you're not part of the establishment, how would you even be in contact with this man? Yet he's trying to gaslight the nation that he's some poor outsider trying to take on the political elite. Or what about Farage being friends with the literal president of the United States? The same billionaire president that's all over the Epstein files. Nigel Farage has met with Donald Trump on multiple occasions in the US. And he also speaks at some of his rallies. Oh, and some of those trips to the US to meet Trump were financially backed by Aaron Banks. This is Farage pictured with Steve Bannon, former advisor to Trump and former chairman of the far-right organization Breitbart News. Over the course of 2017, Farage met with Bannon and they talked about a global alliance of far-right politicians, including Hungary's Viktor Orban. During one of their meetings, Farage wanted Bannon to meet Frederick Barclay at the Ritz. Barclay was not only the co-owner of the hotel, but also the co-owner of the Telegraph. Farage likes to rail against the media, yet there he was, discussing a potential meeting with one of the most influential people in corporate media. But Farage is anti-establishment, right? Lastly, we don't discuss enough Farage's love and admiration for the radical anti-establishment powerhouse that was Margaret Thatcher. Nigel Farage claims he's the only politician keeping the, quote, flame of Thatcherism alive. Thatcher, known for her neoliberal policies like cutting taxes for the rich, deregulation and privatization, all which led to a massive explosion in inequality, with the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. The truth is, Farage, for his entire career, has been right in the middle of the establishment, acting as a power broker with far-right politicians, schmoozing and taking money from billionaires, and hanging around with the paedophile and rapist Donald Trump. In truth, he wants to Americanize the UK and open up our markets to the US. He's also a big proponent of cryptocurrency, and it just so happens that Christopher Harborne, who gave him £5 million, is a crypto billionaire. Farage has also said that he wants to turn the NHS into a private insurance model. The establishment are the political and financial elite. These are the people that fund Farage. The real anti-establishment are those who stand with ordinary people, those without wealth and power. So no, Farage isn't anti-establishment. He embodies the establishment.
Excellent stuff from the Canary there. Now available in print, so keep an eye out at your local newsagents or whatever for printed copies of the Canary. I've not come across one myself yet, but people are saying it's a really good read. So it's particularly exciting, and it really would be a fantastic moment in the history of British politics if the novelty candidate dressed as a bin defeated the leader of the party who's been ahead in the polls for some time. A lot of people were pipping to be the next Prime Minister as well, but wouldn't it be sensational? Wouldn't it also be a great way to stand up to the far right? So we will wish Binface every success in Clacton if it comes to a showdown between him and Farage, which looks to be on the cards at the moment. We'll move on to the next hot seat, which is Manchester. Back to the normal style of music For this one, just want to quickly point out, you might have noticed we use the Squeezebox Dave and Joey version of the Hot Seats intro for Clacton-on-Sea, keeping with the maritime theme and the accordion there. Hope you enjoyed that one. Now, on to Manchester.
Did you vote Tory? No. No one ever votes Tory, did they?
This will just be a very quick sort of whistle stop, if you like, tour for this one. I was going to read through a relative article to this clip because Geraldine Coggins has been back in the outer regions of Greater Manchester once again, in Oldham and Bolton. We're going to see a clip from an interview in Bolton concerning transport, but what I will do is whack a link to the article. I was going to skim through as well. I'll whack that into the description after the stream, but just don't have the time. It's already gone midnight and still have a few things to show you, which normally indicates quite a feisty PMQs. But most of the action came late on this occasion. The article I mentioned as well is from the aforementioned Canary also, so an excellent chance to check them out. If you're not familiar, this is Geraldine Coggins.
Is there a reason that you've chosen to visit Bolton and now Oldham today?
Well, we're going all around Greater Manchester, and yeah, listening to communities, listening to what people are saying. We've been to speak to our local Green councillors in Bolton and a big group of activists this morning, and we saw some great wins in Bolton in the local elections, like we did all around Greater Manchester, around a really wide area. So yeah, we're getting out there and chatting to people all around the city region.
You said that you hope to bring a world-class transport system to Greater Manchester. What does that mean for the people of Bolton?
So I think, you know, from what we've heard from people on the streets, from what our councillors tell us, a lot of people feel the transport system isn't working for places like Bolton, places maybe that the system we have works around the city centre. You know, loads of places have trams, they have really good links, but the people in Bolton tell us they feel left behind really, and that the previous mayor's transport system doesn't work very.
Sorry about the audio, obviously a helicopter passing overhead, or possibly an alien invasion. Was that bin face returning to Earth upon news that Farage had resigned? Yeah, that's on the original audio, as well as there was a bit of bluster earlier.
Very well for them, and we need faster links to the city centre and to places like Bury and Wigan as well. So we haven't got all the details yet. We're kind of listening at the moment to see what are all the issues, but we've got a really exciting manifesto. It's going to be fully costed. It's going to be coming out really soon, and we'll have.
Yeah, because obviously you talk about what Andy Burnham did in Manchester, most people will think of the transport, the B network, as it's called. Geraldine Coggins and the Green Party want to take that even further, because there are still huge problems here, although we have more reasonably priced bus fares now, and all of the separate companies combined into one as well, instead of having all these ridiculous separate prices and tickets and whatnot, which has been good. But where rail is concerned especially, we really are behind Northern Rail. It's quite atrocious on occasion, or more than on occasion, I do have to say myself. as a regular user, so they do want to do more. There is more that needs to be done, and I guess perhaps where Burnham was dragging his feet, Coggins wants to kickstart things.
Have all the detail.
And just my final question, there's never been a non-Labour mayor of Greater Manchester, but you've said that this is a race between the Greens and Reform. Why is that?
Well, I mean, we saw what happened in the local elections. We saw those unprecedented Green wins, and we saw a huge amount of Reform wins. And the common denominator was massive Labour losses. I think the Makerfield election was really...
You see Green Party signs in people's windows, outside people's houses, all over Manchester, in the suburbs of Manchester as well.
You know, a damning indictment of the Labour government. You know, we know that even with 400 MPs down there, they couldn't find one who was up to the challenge of being Prime Minister and never even considered a woman. And of course, then we've seen my Trafford colleague Hannah Spencer in Gorton and Denton winning big in another Green versus Reform race. So, you know, I think what we hear on the street is that people have had it with the old parties, you know, and they don't want the old parties who are the people who've gotten us into this situation in the first place and don't have the bold solutions that we need. People are disillusioned with them. They want the hope that the Green Party brings. People are ready for change, and they know that this is an election that the Green Party can win. Where we campaign, we win, and this is something we can absolutely win.
And they've been winning a lot of places for the first time, saying that Labour have never lost such and such a place now. Has decreasing value as time goes on, as far as I'm concerned. So many areas in Manchester turned green in May. Will we see that happen throughout the whole of Greater Manchester? So we're certainly behind Geraldine Coggins, despite what the interviewer might have thought. It is definitely a three-way race. I'll keep you posted on that one. Like I said, I'll post that link for the Canary article. If you want to find out more about the Green Party's transport plans in the Manchester mayoral election, this is obviously one that we're quite concerned with as a Manchester and Greater Manchester based channel ourselves. Do share your thoughts with us, of course, if you're in the region. We'd love to get them. But that will be it from Hot Seats in Clacton and Manchester this time. We'll keep you up to speed. It's going to be quite a month. The Manchester mayoral election will take place first, and then, like I said earlier, it's likely to be just a week later that people go to the ballot down in Clacton upon Sea. And my left eye will be seeing what happens next.
Okay! Did you vote Tory?
No.
No one ever votes Tory, did they?
Music's too loud. The neighbours have been complaining. You just watch your steps, sonny.
Quality. Quality. Something else that's quality is hitting the like button, thumbs up if you'd be so kind. Anyone who's just joined us on stream. We'll take a wider look at how the Greens are doing, as well as some national polling next. as well as taking a look at another political party who I've not made mention of in a while, but that would seem to be for good reason, and that is in fact the reason why they're going to be mentioned. But before that, he says mysteriously, not giving any spoilers away, but hinting slightly. Let's start with Greens versus Reform in overall polling, and it looks good, apart from obviously where the Tories and Reform are concerned. But all voters, right at the top there, you can see 57 prefer the Greens over Reform. Even 84% of the Labour Party prefer the Greens over Reform. 82% of Liberal Democrat voters, and of course 93% of Green Party. Quite strange that 7% would vote Green in 24 and then, given their ascendancy since then, move over to Reform, but that appears to be the stats, as it were. I did point out tongue-in-cheek on social media that perhaps the 7% didn't understand the question. What? Which party do we want to get rid of? Oh yeah, that Reform, okay. No, but overall, still really good. And that obviously gives hope to people like Geraldine Coggins. Do you think that's pretty accurate accounting? This is Lord Ashcroft in a poll between the 25th and 29th of June, and brought to us by Stats for Lefties. Do check them out on Blue Sky or whatever. Really good source of combining polls and sharing polls as well. And it's run by a Marxist. Added trivia there. Let's look at the overall polling for the next general election now, which would factor in the so-called Burnham factor. Let's just see how, of course, the news sweeping the country that he's going to be the next Prime Minister has an effect on Labour's polling. Have they swept in front of Reform? Let's see. They're now behind the Tories, with Reform still in the lead, and Labour down 295 seats, according to this More in Common survey, between the 3rd and 6th of July, so a bit more of a recent poll. 67 for Lib Dem. Yeah, not looking good for Labour. That Burnham effect maybe not really kicking in. According to this one, the Green Party only gaining 10 seats, up 14. I don't know if I'm sure about this one. I can buy that Reform might still be in the lead in the polls, but not that the Tories would be in front of Labour. Well, maybe. But I do think the Greens will come out with more seats come the next GE. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. I say that genuinely. What do you think? What do you rate this in terms of accuracy? Or, we always take them with a pinch of salt on My Left Eye. Do have another poll here. And it is almost sort of confirmation, as it were. Like I said just a few moments ago, a party we've not mentioned for some time. But there are reasons behind that, and it's reasons like this now. You can see that it does appear that your party missed the boat where mopping up Labour voters is concerned. Now polling at just 0.5%, with the Greens on 14.2, an incredible amount of distance there, and you can see Some significant moments across the timeline there. Polanski elected the Your Party conference, which I do have to be honest, as much as I agree with a lot of what Zara Sultana and Jeremy Corbyn say, what was nothing short of a disaster in terms of optics, at least. Then there was the CC ballot, and Your Party Scotland officially dissolved just a few months ago, which sent the party even further down, now resting on 0.5%. It is a shame. It is a shame, because it would have been great to see two tour de forces, if you like, on the left combining against the right in the Greens and Your Party. But alas, the Greens have got the spoils. I don't have any problem with that, of course. I've been a Green voter and a Green backer at the ballot for a while now. Know quite a lot of campaigners as well as councillors and even former candidate for Member of Parliament as well. So, yeah. Unfortunately, that appears to pretty much underscore the demise of Your Party. They had some quality people. I'd say, feel fairly confident that whether it's as an independent or Your Party candidate, Corbyn will still keep his seat, Sultana will still keep hers. You look at people like Andrew Feinstein, who were with Workers' Party of Britain, then moved over to sort of help Your Party out financially. But again, there were disagreements there. That's not highlighted on the timeline, but I think that was fairly significant as well. You remember the row over the withholding of members' funds and things like this came into that. But the reason I brought Andrew up was, of course, he has formerly stood in Holborn St Pancras. Starmer's seat. Will he stand again? Because, as I mentioned on a recent stream, not sure if it was the last one or whenever, but since Keir Starmer resigned, he has said that he will still stay on as an MP, and I wouldn't fancy his chances to hold the seat, not by a long chalk. People, do whatever you might like with that information, but I think at this stage you can put that one firmly in the bank. Weejock Poopon McPlop, welcome to chat. Nice to see you. Nice handle as well. Comrie, how are you this evening? Solidarity from across the border. Always nice to see the Welsh contingents of the Brew crew in chat. Hope you're both well. Yeah, we were just sort of contemplating what appears to be now the permanent demise of Your Party. If there was any chance of revival, I would certainly say it would have been and gone by now. Regular viewers might remember I more or less gave them personally until a short time after the conference, but as you can see from this graph, they didn't just plateau, but have now gone down, having started at 10% and got a whopping amount of membership. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Has to be said.
Socialists. Oh my God.
Something else that is a bit of a shame is we saw Egypt beaten in the World Cup with a sensational comeback from Argentina. Apparently, the IDF in Israel was supporting Argentina. There's been a few clips of that going around social media. However, I did actually neglect to add this clip into the last live stream. It's the manager of Egypt following their previous game before they met Argentina, which they won, of course, in the knockout stages, and he held the Palestinian flag aloft with great chanting in tow. So we're going to take a look at that. Yeah, just forgot to put that on the last stream. And of course, it is a shame to see them duck out. But of course, Israel aren't in it because they're shit. So anyone who doesn't follow international football or this World Cup or whatnot, the person on the pitch with the flag is the manager, getting support from fans as well. And Thomas, if you're watching, Mr. Tuchel, I personally wouldn't mind seeing a bit of this. That's never going to happen. Not in a month of Sundays. Well done. Well done. Good run for Egypt as well. They've got Mo Salah as well, of course, who plays for Liverpool. Other great players. Great show of solidarity as well. Do share your thoughts on that. Sorry, I was trying to talk while simultaneously scrolling and reading through some of what you've been putting in the chat here. Sorry, I've not had time to catch up with a lot of it. Weejock Pong McPlop, you think that Corbyn will retire soon? Really? You think that Sarah's going to lose her seat? No, I think she's still pretty strong there in Coventry South, from what I know. Jacqueline, if Binface wins Clacton, will he be doing his constituency work wearing Binface? I really hope so. I really hope so. It's one of those, I don't want the spell to be broken. And in this weather as well, it'd certainly hold more surgeries than Nigel Farage, even though he has to pop across to the other side of the galaxy, back to Sigma 9, sorry, was it Sigma 6? Forgot the number. Comrie, at this point, Clacton will benefit more from electing Binface than Farage. You can bet that they would. Yeah. You say they've already experienced the non-work of Farage. Yeah, he is the real establishment MP, as we discussed earlier. It's kind of weird how it's juxtaposed as well. Someone calling themselves accounts will get the people's votes. Plain old Nigel is establishment. Oh yeah, just Nigel who has the odd pint down the pub, as he says. He's just a multi-millionaire. Throws his toys out the pram when coots try and stop him banging there. As we all do. Stay put, people, we are getting towards the end of stream. Got to do all the members and other shout-outs, of course, and thank you for the gifted memberships on tonight's stream. Just a quick reminder that Super Chat and Super Stickers are still open if you're with us live, and Super Thanks if you're watching back later on. Check out the link for the Buy Me a Coffee page in the description of any content on the channel as well. If you're unable to support via YouTube. Don't forget thumbs up, share on social media, all those appropriate buttons and height points if you're watching on a mobile device, please. Hit thumbs up. Should ask you if you want to hype. Thanks again. Dear members, 144 members now, towards the target of 250. It would be awesome if we can get back over the 200 this week. Just perusing for a raid to another suitable channel. And of course do stay put for post-ending Shenanigans. Let's see who's around. We'll go to... I think we'll go to this space. Al Jazeera's on as well. We'll go to this space. Of course. Actual YouTube streamers. Good stuff as well. Do hit thumbs up with our friends from the United States. So that's all set up and ready. Thanks for being with us once again on another Brews at 10 on My Left Eye. I've been your humble host, Lefty. You've all been incredible in the chat. Thanks a lot for your contributions. All that remains is for me to say power to the people. Free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan and Yemen. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Don't watch the news. Be the news. My Left Eye will be seeing you soon. Good night. Solidarity.
Forgive me if I don't take too much notice of the Leader of the Opposition. For 14 years, they broke our welfare system, lost control of our borders, presided over the biggest fall in living standards on record, broke the economy, prisons, the NHS. I could go on and on. No wonder she and they are totally irrelevant. The change delivered by this Labour government, the biggest upgrade in workers' rights in a generation, delivered. Renters' Rights Act, delivered. Record funding for our NHS, delivered. The fastest growing economy in the G7.